This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
We're going to catch up with Adam Gilchrist very shortly, actually. Gilly has been a spokesperson for Western Australia, been going around trying some places which we've been to.
Well, I wonder why they didn't ask us.
One of the places that he's gone to is the Pinnacles, and Nathan had a python wrapped around his neck there.
I
wasn't
had
mine.
a python around my neck at the Pinnacles, and that was a beautiful day, wasn't it?
Delightful. Hello, Gilly.
Hey, good morning.
Hello,
Hey,
Gilly.
Gilly.
So you are flogging Western Australia, eh?
Logging it.
Well,
Logging
Western
it,
Australians are lining up.
We'll see how we go. I hope we don't scare everyone off, but we've had a good time doing it, so hopefully that comes across that these are experiences that people want to do. It was good fun.
Yeah, so you and Harry have been doing a lot of the stuff, Gilly. I've been reading. So this is going to be projected into, over 1 billion people in India.
Yeah, I don't know if every single one of them will see it, but I think that's the objective by all means. What do you do when you want to attract attention in India? You throw a cricketer out there.
Yes,
Yeah, I
exactly.
understand.
It's not a bad policy.
Yeah, but it's no secret that not just Western Australia, but Australia and all the other states see India as a fantastic country to start to partner in a whole lot of things, and none the least tourism. I think two-way tourism's to be encouraged, but of course we'd love everyone to come here. Why not? We are the gateway to South Asia.
We are.
Yeah. Hey, tell Coldplay about it. Hey, so I want to know, you had to do it with your hideous, bridge troll of a son, Archie, who's just not classically good looking at all.
Harry.
That's Harry.
Yep.
I want to know, when you're in India and stuff, do they know you and your family, all the fans, or is it just the cricketer? How much does it extend to?
They know my kids better than I know them.
Really? I was wondering that.
It's amazing.
Because they deep dive into family stuff, yes?
Oh, yeah. No, they are fully invested in the cricketer, the person, the family, the history. It is amazing. It sounds like that's taking the mickey a bit, but no, it really is. They do a deep dive into their heroes and their cricket. The cricket icons that they love to follow, and it's beautiful. They smother you in love and kindness, and you get messages on all the kids' birthdays or Mel's.
Wow.
And not just that, it's another generation as well. So, you've got the Gilly fans and, basically cricket fans, that extends all ages. But then, you tap into the younger people that were, look at Harry, you know what I mean? Like, I sort of relate to him. Very clever clever tourism.
So, Gilly, Harry's the actor, isn't he?
Well, I think you've got to get a job before you can say you actually...
No, well, what I'm saying is he's right for Bollywood, is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah,
well,
Natalie, good idea.
At the moment, he's a fine barista, and he pours a good wine at night in the wine bar that he works in. But he's graduated from WAPA, and he's, ironically, he's promoting WA, but he actually now lives in Melbourne.
Yes.
But he's over there pursuing his dream, and that was part of the whole thing. And in our campaign, was the fact that he came home, and we were able to just have some family time. The two of us just going for drives around to these pretty amazing locations and experiences. But yeah, Bollywood. Let's see. I reckon you never know.
It's tailor-made for it, really.
That's right.
Yeah.
We saw what happened there.
Yeah.
Hey, Gilly, just on Harry, because Harry and my older son Lachlan are around the same age. I wanted to know, and Lachlan went to uni, Harry went to WAPA. Did you charge him board at all?
Not while he was at uni at WAPA, while he was at home studying, but he's out. We've cut the cord now. He's off. He made the decision to move.
Yeah, move him on.
So while he was living at your house and not going to school, you haven't experienced him doing that, therefore the board question raised? No?
That's right. He was studying. He was at uni.
He wasn't earning money while he was living
there. So he doesn't know the world that you're in,
Sean. Scenario, Sean.
Did your oldies make you pay at any stage when you were in New South Wales before you come over here?
Well, I left home when I was 16 and a half, so I reckon that would have been a bit stiff.
And think about it back then, if you had to pay rent, it would have been $20 a week.
Yeah, it would have been.
We've been giving my pocket money back. But I can understand the line of questioning here, Sean, and I'm not touching it. I'm staying right out of it.
Yeah, very diplomatic.
You need to work out, not in the public domain, mate.
Oh, that's
not
weird.
A family therapy session.
Not for my family. I was just throwing it out.
We would never do it publicly. We'll be taking calls tomorrow.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
we were blessed with a visit from a guy called Alexi, who is from Lucia, the Cirque du Soleil show that's happening at Claremont Showground under the big top as we speak. You can get tickets from cirquedusoleil.com. Hurry up, though, because it ends on September 1st.
Now, as you understand, the human body should only bend one way. And he's a contortionist.
Yes.
Amazing.
One that would sicken a lot of people
Well,
from
we
what
talk
he
about
can
that.
do.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we decided to do a little bit of a prank on T, who, of course, has started here at work. Told her we got her a present. We put him in a box. We didn't even have time to wrap it because we thought it would be so uncomfortable in there for him. We whacked a bow in there, and then she opened up to find him in the box. Now, the thing that you want to see in this video is the way he gets himself into the box. Think about how you would get into a box.
Yeah.
He doesn't
I would
do
curl
it that
into a ball.
He does not do it that way. It is crazy the way he films
my
up.
God.
So go to Nathan, Nat and Shaun Instagram right now. You can check that video out.
Yeah, but then we had a chat to Alexi. Let's have a listen.
Yes, I'm a contortionist and I've been with Lucia for 8 years.
Amazing.
Okay.
We started in 2016 and I'm since the very beginning.
So you've been a contortionist since you were how old?
I'm doing contortion since I was 4 and now I'm 29.
Alexi, so this is the deal because you now are owned by Talisa.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's just good for Talisa to get the instructions
Yeah,
on what she needs to do the first contortion she's received.
Yeah.
Did you learn this? Can you learn it, or is it a born thing? You have to be born like it.
So it's important thing that we need to highlight. Instruction for contortionists. I love cookies and ice creams. So it's the most important thing for me. I love it. And I need to train. I need to train a lot. And it takes me 3, 4, 5 hours a day for training.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So, and when we're having a show, we have from 8 to 11 shows per week. Sometimes we have 9 shows.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have 10
Will she
shows
have
per
to
week.
drive you to the show?
Yeah.
Of course, I'm her gift. Well, she's responsible for me right
Chip
now.
in for fuel
she
though,
is.
right?
Well,
Cheers.
no choice.
Alexi, what was the attraction to being a contortionist for you?
When I was a kid, I asked my parents to take me to a circus show.
Yeah.
I saw a commercial of it. And they took me to a show. I fell in love with what I saw.
Yeah.
And I asked my mom to take me to circus studio. And at that time, it didn't matter what discipline I would do. It could be anything. Could be contortion, could be juggling, could be aerial, anything. And when I came to the studio, my coach tested me. He showed me different disciplines, different moves. And then he was talking to me and to my parents, and he said, well, comparing to other kids, you're more or less flexible. Let's try to develop this discipline. But at that time, I couldn't do anything crazy. I couldn't do anything extreme. And we started working on that, and he was integrating other disciplines into my base, into my routine.
Yeah.
My main routine is contortion, developing flexibility and showing it to people.
Yes.
But besides that, I was doing elements of rhythmic gymnastic, elements of ballet dance, modern dance, aesthetic gymnastic. I was practicing a bit of wushu, Chinese martial art.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you
And-
could have been an acrobat kind of thing as well?
And all this together is what you can see on stage right now.
Amazing.
But of course, it doesn't mean that I'm super good at all those disciplines.
Yes.
The main goal was to pick the best parts that fits my acts, fit my routine,
Yes.
and integrate it into it.
Is there any part
Wow.
of your body that could be itchy that you cannot scratch yourself?
No.
I mean, that is quite handy. I mean, it's amazing. I know people that have been to see the show already, and some of them say that they can't watch you. Like, they literally have to look away because your flexibility and the positions you get into are so unnatural.
Well,
So you're terrifying
Well,
people.
we did see that though. Now, when you were
Yeah.
warming up to get in the box today,
Yes.
so he was warming up. He was doing this back bend thing where, honestly, it was like he was a side table.
Yes.
You could have put a vase on his stomach. That was
Yeah.
so. Yeah, it's quite confronting to see.
I have my personal record in Lucia.
Yes.
When we started working, as I said, 8 years ago,
Yes.
my boss, artistic director, she was coming up to me and she was saying, Alexi, +1. I was like, +1? What does it mean? I didn't mind.
Yeah.
And she kept on coming up to me and kept saying, Alexi, +1 again, +1. And I decided to ask her what it means. And she said that when I come and see you and tell you +1, it means someone passed out watching your act or didn't feel good and they had to leave the tent. I didn't believe her. I was like, no, it cannot be true. And then later on, other people were coming up to me and saying the same thing.
Yes.
People working at the tent, security guys, they were saying, Alex, you know, someone left the tent because of you. They couldn't stand you. They couldn't watch
Yes,
your
they couldn't
contortion.
watch.
And I started counting. And by now, my, let's say, body count, 65.
My body.
Yeah. And I already had
So
3
impressive.
cases in Perth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3
That's
cases in Perth. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean in podcast form.
Well, we've got a world champion in the studio with us, and that is the great man, Danny Green.
Touching him now.
It's been a while since we've seen him. It's great to have him here. But I'll firstly, Greenie, introduce Alex Winwood, who'll be fighting for a world title, the WBA title, that is, in about 3 weeks' time. Good morning to you. First of all, Alex, how are you?
Yeah, very good. Thanks for having us, eh?
Yeah.
Alex.
You seem gentle, which is dangerous.
And a pocket rocket too.
Hey, Alex, before we've known Greenie for ages, so we'll get to him in a second. But I want to ask you about. We've just seen the Olympics take place.
Yep.
And you were in the Tokyo Games too. So tell us about your experience there and how that was.
Oh, the COVID games.
Yeah, the COVID games. It was very different to any other sporting competition that I went to. But we're surrounded by the best athletes in the world, your Novak Djokovic's, your Kevin Durant's.
Yeah.
And they're all walking around your Paddy Mills, and they're so chilled, but there was no crowd and there was no one to, disturb them. So they were just, so themselves, you know?
Yeah, right.
So their guards were down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it was really different. Obviously, I imagined the games being these massive crowds and all this atmosphere, and then when we get there, it was a bit of a letdown. But other than that, the meeting the athletes and that was awesome.
How did you go with the beds? Because it was the same beds that they use, in Paris.
The
How
cardboard
were
beds.
they? How were the beds?
Oh, I think, where did I come from? I think I might have came from Thailand or something like that, where the beds weren't too much greater than that. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah. Bit stiff, I suppose.
Yeah.
Talking about a bit stiff, Danny Green. Hey, Daddy, how important is a good mattress to someone that is a fighter that's about to be before they fight? Is it?
Yeah, very. It's to any performance, like Macca,
Yeah.
Sorry, Nat.
Oh, yeah. High performing athletes.
Performance athletes.
Yeah.
It's very important to get a good night's sleep. Rest and recovery and sleep is of paramount importance. So yeah, it is very important. But I don't know what the carry on with all these cardboard beds is or whatever. I mean, if you're in the Olympics, you'd have slept on the bus station floor.
Yeah,
You'd have been stoked to be there. So
That's a really good point.
Yeah, Alex.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Actually, get off that chair and sit on the floor, Alex. Sit on the floor.
pipe down.
Hey, Greenie, it's great to see you in here. I know we're probably following all your antics on Instagram and whatnot, but getting behind Alex for this world title event, this is a great thing. Being able to help a young champion make his way. And did you have somebody get behind you and help you get to the next level when you were starting off?
Oh, look, I've been surrounded by good people. One thing that my old man was very strong on is, mate, surround yourself with good people. And I taught my kids that, and I've was lucky to have great support throughout my career. So it's the least I can do. And watching this young bloke, he's a West Aussie.
Yeah.
So and we want to try and bring back that magic that I used to fight.
Yeah.
That magic atmosphere I used to fight in front of so many beautiful, amazing fans at Challenge Stadium, which is now HBF Stadium.
Yeah.
That's where Alex is fighting. It's a big step up for this young bloke. Like, he's taking on the world champion who's never lost in 24 fights, been the longest reigning champion. It's a hell of a fight in only his fifth
Don't
outing. He's
scare
only
him.
had 4 fights. So it's a massive, massive deal. So for me to get behind him and try and get the rest of WA, particularly Western Australia, to go, hey, man, you've got a world-class athlete, a world-class fighter who is all action. He's a pocket rocket. Like, he's small in stature, but massive in presence. And once people see him, once they get to feel and experience the power this kid has, I think they're going to be like me. They're going to be hooked and want to see his journey.
I'm excited just hearing about it. Alex, to be able to fight for a world title, only your 5th fight, do you feel like you're ready to rock and roll? Because that's an
Big
early
step.
Yeah, definitely.
It's early in your career.
100% it is. We've pretty much just taken on the big gun straight away, and we was going to go for a world title eliminator, which meant that we would be fighting for a world title and another fight after this. But things happened. Greenie's show fell through, and then once that happened, my management got onto it, and they've offered the world champion a fight, and he agreed, and all of a sudden the ball was rolling, and was in a different ballpark. And after, I guess, all my sparring preparation and being in there with the world champions, the Maloney brothers, in my gym, mixing it with them, we know that I have what it takes. It's not going to be an easy fight by any means. It's going to be a big ask, but there's there's obviously a lot of proof in my sparring and in my preparations that I have what it takes, and I got the belief in myself.
It's amazing, isn't it? And knowing Danny for so many years, for me, knowing that you're going to be facing the world champion, I'd be shitting myself. But you guys don't. You get yourselves in a mindset, and I've seen Danny over the years. It's like, no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get it. Does Danny? Firstly, with you, does it at all live in you? Fear for a challenge?
He doesn't know what you're talking about.
Anywhere?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
There's always fear, you know? Like, anytime and it's not the fear of being hurt.
No.
It's the fear of losing.
Okay.
Because we're competitors. It's like any athlete. You don't want to... Like, I imagine how terrifying it must be for a marathon runner, 42 kilometres, and they know that the pain they're going to put themselves through would be incredible. So that would be fear too.
Yeah.
And I imagine they're not scared of that pain. They're scared of not performing to their best of their ability.
Sometimes if I've got a long flight coming up, I'm frightened of that.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun in podcast form.
We're joined in the studio by two special guests, our old mate, Danny Green, and his prodigy, Alex Winwood, who's fighting in 3 weeks' time.
Absolutely. Now, we've got a double pass, actually, to go and see Alex Winwood fight Neom Trong to take the WBA world title. It's HBF Stadium. Greenie mentioned that before. September 7. Get your tickets at Ticketmaster now. 132410. We'll give that to caller number 4. Alex, Angelo Hyder's here, which I've met many years ago when he was coming. He was good friends with Mark Harvey, actually. I think Greenie brought him down to the footy club for a few years in a row. You've been working with Angelo for a while?
Yeah, so I moved out of WA in 2022 and moved over to Tweed Heads, New South Wales, and that's where Angelo's residing at the moment.
Yeah. Alex has a yard, he told me.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to score a yard in this market of housing. Yeah. So I got over there, and there was... I think, actually, that's how I got my nickname. I went to go look for a bunch of inspections, and I ended up crashing his car into a rock, and that's where my nickname A-Rock came from. So, yeah, it was the second inspection. Luckily, I caught a taxi to the third inspection, pretty much.
How bad did you feel? I know that feeling.
It was 4 days into meeting the bloke, and I thought I was going home, mate. It's going to be a short trip.
I was speaking to Alex during the song, and I said I have experienced probably a skerrick of what he has with Danny in the gym, because Danny, trained me for a second until I got too frightened and fled. And I said, like, for me personally, I remember times telling Danny I can't breathe, and he goes, I don't care, and just having to keep going. And then also the fact that it was Danny's birthday one day. There's two things stand out for me. Danny's birthday one day, and he rocks up on his birthday to train me, and I went, no, that's your.
No, but that was his gift to himself.
Yeah. And then another time he was flying out. It was just after sort of Dancing with the Stars, I think it was around that sort of time. But anyway, you were flying out, and he stopped off at the gym to train me and then head to the airport. And I went, this commitment is too much, and it terrified me. What is Danny like as a trainer to you? Does he let you breathe? I'm just concerned.
Nah, never. He's like that with everyone, I think.
It's insane.
He's just
hands
nodding.
around his throat.
Hands around his throat. I go, who's harder out of Danny or Ange?
Yeah, Ange is a big presence, that's for sure.
Really?
Yeah, he really is. He likes Greenie. He's made world champion out of him. So you're like you're getting put under the pressure.
Yeah,
H
every
does
day.
that more than the opponent in the ring.
Really?
Yeah, it's quite intense.
The runs are on the board, so you know that what he does works, right?
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
Make or break.
Did Angelo let you breathe or not?
Angelo, well, Angelo needs a muzzle.
You can say that now.
He's out there. But not because he bites. Man, he's the loudest bloke in the world. But no, he's got a wealth of knowledge, and Angelo's trained him. He's trained the Maloney brothers. He's trained myself. He's got a wealth of knowledge as a trainer. He really is a world-class trainer.
Yeah.
He's a very underrated and understated boxing trainer. He's got a great eye for what the opponent's trying to do. And so when the guy comes back to the corner, when we come back to the corner, he's able to give you some really good advice on what you want to try and do the next round. So Alex is in very good hands, and the experience is going to show out on September 7th.
Hey, Alex, is it hard to stay cool under that kind of pressure? You're in a fight at Olympics. You've been to. You already fought in your professional career 4 times already. Won them all. Someone's coming at you all the time. You go back at your corner all the time. I was watching this in the UFC just on the weekend. You think, how are they staying cool and knowing what to do next?
I think it just comes with repetition. You're in there all the time, and it's like I said, it's our job.
Yeah.
This is what we're accustomed to, and as fighters, that's what you've signed up for. You're not going in there with a blindfold on, wondering what's going to happen. You know that when the pressure's getting hard, you need to rely full-heartedly in your corner for them to give you the right advice and say, hey, mate, this is what you need to do, blah, 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 etc., etc. So, no.
Have you ever had someone say, do you want me to call you a cab? Yes, please.
Or you can wind this up. We've got a dinner bit.
Are you wearing a Muhammad Ali shirt? Is that what you've got on?
Yeah, I am, actually. My wife loves to buy me some merchandise all the time.
Boxing-related merch.
I never find it, but somehow she finds all the best pieces ever.
Live and breathe.
What does your wife go through? Does she cook you special meals? Like, what's the deal of being a wife of a boxer?
Nah, I'm a bit OCD, and whenever it comes to food, it's me. I'm like, don't touch it, please. I'll do this, I find enjoyment out of doing it. It's a little bit more of a self-control thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what is this? Like portions of boiled chicken and stuff?
Yeah, and it just kind of breaks the day up rather than just sitting there waiting for the food.
Boiling chicken?
Yeah, exactly right.
Chicken doesn't boil itself.
Alex is paranoid his wife's going to bring out some mushrooms.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
We've got more of our wild ride chat with Ross Noble because, of course, we talked about the Titanic.
Yes.
Remember back in the day when the Titanic first came out, right? The world was fat shaming Kate Winslet for playing Rose. Now, if you do yourself a favour, right, today, go and Google pictures of her when she was in there, and they were fat shaming her. She is not fat at all.
I thought she looked
crazy.
She looked beautiful.
Yeah, no, that was the whole story was, and she had to come out and do interviews about how she was cast as the larger woman against. And you got to remember, Leonardo DiCaprio was like a broomstick back then, so anyone was sat next to him. Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah, but it was a different. Back then his girlfriends were age appropriate.
Yes.
None of them ever aged past 25. Hey Ross,
the thing is though is that you got to hand it to James Cameron because it was one of those. You got to remember when that film came out, Kate Moss was at our absolute height, and it was that thing. It was that kind of skinny chic and everything. And we had a completely different sort of approach to what You're right. It was one of those things where everyone had to be super skinny and it was unhealthy.
Back then, it was like healthy women. Yuck. It's like, are you serious?
Yeah, exactly. And Kate Winslet, absolutely beautiful, lovely, absolutely lovely. And it's one of them things where, they'll go, we've moved on, and now we're all a bit more enlightened. But I have to say, I'm just saying, and James Cameron is one of my heroes. I absolutely love James Cameron. But all I'm saying is, where are the fat Na'vi in Avatar? Look at them.
That's a great question. Right. Well, there's no KFC on that planet. That's obviously
exactly. You think there's just, maybe that's what, he's doing 5 of them. Now, they're all athletic, they're warriors, they're super skinny. Maybe in the 5th one, they defeat the humans, they get all the rubbish food, and it's just a
they get Uber Eats.
He's just sat in a chair. He's just sat in the chair, scratching his blue arm. I remember.
And then it looks like the guy from the Olympics opening ceremony.
Yeah. But think about it as well. The Na'vi, of course, on that planet, they're all vegetarians, aren't they? They all do one with the plants, and they don't. I don't know if they. Oh no, they kill animals. They eat farm to table.
Yeah.
Paddock
to plate, Nath.
Paddock to plate. They eat that way, so they're not doing too bad.
I wasn't sure about the underwater people this time in. The Avatar show.
Sean, if you love seafood, that's the place. That's the tribe you want to live with.
Fair call.
But then the other problem I've got with the Na'vi, and
I've been waiting to say it.
I'm a fantasy racist. That's what I am.
Yeah, okay.
Here's my problem with the Na'vi. No, my problem with the Na'vi, right, is they've got the long ponytail there.
Yes.
When they bond with their partner, and then that intertwines, and they're together. And it's this beautiful moment of this sensual thing of it. And then 2 minutes later, they're plugging into them big flying bird things.
Yeah. So it's like they're doing it with the birds.
And they're connecting with them. And I think, what are you doing? It's like fondling a pigeon.
No, it's like having to get into your car and turn it on with your penis.
Okay.
You know what? I wasn't going to go there. I thought Fondle the Pigeon would be better.
Yeah.
But it's good to know it's your show,
There's
and it's
the
good
line.
to know that you can properly cross the line.
Of course you can. Of course you can.
We
know,
love your
Ross.
work, Ross.
One final question,
Yes.
right? Just one final question before I go, right? On the Navi, right?
Okay, yes.
It's like about time this came up in the interview.
Okay.
He's sat there in his chair,
Yeah.
big fat Navi. He's eating the burger ring cheeseburger thing that you've created, right? He's choking on it, right? He's choking on it. How do you know? He's already burnt.
That's, I mean, such a good point, Ross.
It's a really good
What
point.
a great way to
Oh, my
finish
God.
this interview.
And I do know there's probably more things about the Navi,
Yes.
but we'll get that off your chest the next time. We've got you on.
To be fair,
Well, you
more
know what?
questions than
I'm gonna
answers.
be,
What?
I'm gonna. I haven't put the tickets on sale yet, but I'm coming back there start of next year.
Okay.
So get all your Navi questions
All right.
down,
Yes.
and I'll come in and let's do a Navi special.
Yeah, let's
We'll
break
do
it
a
down. We'll
Navi
break it
segment.
down.
And everyone listening right now, if you've ever had thoughts related to the Navi
Yes.
on Avatar, we've got a while now to get your homework done,
Yeah,
and then we'll
questions.
open up the phones.
We'll
Yeah.
see you. We'll see you when you're here, Ross. Can't wait.
All right, always a pleasure. Take care.
This is Navi 937.
This is a podcast of Nathan, Nat, and Shaun.
We are talking about something that it happened once. That was bad enough,
Yeah.
but then it happened again on the same day, inspired by the childcare centre where the kids locked themselves in the shed, and then they were, told to get out of the shed. And they got out of the shed,
So then they locked it,
and then they got back in the shed again.
Well done, kids.
which was locked. And that's actually, you know what? You get,
Those kids-
you get a scratch and sniffer for that under my watch.
Those kids are up to something. Clarissa, hello.
Good morning.
Hi,
Morning,
Clarissa.
Clarissa.
Hi. What happened twice?
Okay, so I was really busy. It was the morning. I've got 2 kids, right? So I'm rushing and putting the kids in the car, and we're only going up the road. And when I get to the destination, I realise where's my phone, but on the roof of the car. I was like, oh, thank God. Okay.
So
oh,
it
my
was
God,
still
thank
there?
you. It's okay. Still there. It was literally, we're just going down the road. I was like, okay, that cold feeling in my stomach, you know?
Yes, it's a horrible feeling.
Yeah. Later that day, we had to go to my friend's house. Okay, so again, I'm rushing and my kids are screaming, whatever. Getting them in the car, and I went to my friend's house. We had a great time. Then we got home from my friend's house, and I was like, where's my phone? And I'm looking everywhere, and I'm going, oh, my God, where is it? Like, I can't ring my friend. Have I left it at your house? I don't have my phone.
You don't know a number.
So I'm like, yeah, exactly. So I get my iPad, and I'm like trying to do the, find my phone app. And I locate it, and on Tonkin Highway. And I'm like, oh no, I did it again. And so I'm like, I was devastated. I was like, but it's got all the photos of my new baby that I'd had. And so my partner goes out on Tonkin, goes out with my neighbour, bless his heart, he was so sweet. I'll go with him because it's dangerous, right, to go out on Tonkin Highway.
Yes.
Right? So they go out, and what do you know? Literally the app pinpointed it to where it was, and they found it, and they brought it home. Yes, it was smashed.
Yeah.
But in the same day. I was like,
I know.
And you've never done it before. Isn't that crazy?
No. And I was like, no, how did I do this? But I did.
Well,
You know what? It takes a day like that for it to be cemented in your memory, and then you actually check all the time. Yeah?
You'd hope.
Yeah, you hope.
Yeah, 2 young kids, so,
Clarissa,
take
right.
a lot of attention. Thanks, Clarissa. Tasman?
Yeah. Hey, Tasman.
Yeah.
Hey, Tasman.
Okay,
Morning.
what did you do twice?
Well, I'm in the trenches with my newborn baby. So,
All I'm hearing is a lot of baby and children blaming here.
So this is about, she's nearly 9. So 9 years ago, I cannot get her to sleep. During the day, can't get her to sleep. I'm like, I'm putting her in the car, we'll go for a drive. Anyway, in the car, driving around for 5 minutes, she falls asleep. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. I'm like, well, I can't stop because if I stop, she'll wake up.
Yeah.
So I kept driving. Little did I, I'm in my own little world, as I said, sleep deprived, and I proceed to go through a camera through a school zone. So it's 40. I must have been doing about 53.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. I'm like, you know what? It's worth it to I'll pay the fine.
If this was a ride, I'd be buying a ticket.
This is and just pay for the Uber. They could have driven her around. So,
That's so funny. What, just have an Uber pop up and put baby in, take him out for 20 minutes.
So then I'm like, I'm going to keep driving. Like, it's all good. So I'm driving around, can't stop. I go through the same spot, doing 52 again. I was like, you have... And then I started crying. Like,
because that's demerit points as well.
Yeah,
so
and I'm in my head, as I'm driving, I'm like, I'm gonna write a letter and I'll tell them what's happened. They'll take
that's going to work.
2 weeks later, the postie comes, my name on one envelope. Next day, another envelope. So I've got 2 signs. Most expensive sleep ever. I should have put her in a hotel.
Yeah, you should have.
Exactly.
Would have got her a nice Airbnb for that.
Exactly.
That is so funny.
Tasman, that is heartbreaking. Thank you. Jenna's in Morley. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, Jenna. We're hearing a lot of heartbreaking stories. Jenna, did you do the same stupid thing twice?
I did it more than that, but I have actually a better story than that. I got hit in the face twice in one game with a soccer ball sitting on the sideline by 2 different players.
Falcon!
I was wearing like glasses at the time, and the total of my glasses, they did not make the game. And my parents were not happy with me.
So you're a kid. You're on the sidelines waiting for your game.
I'm in like year 8, year 9 high school doing soccer at sport, and literally on the sideline waiting for my turn, and it was 2 different players just like so happened to hit me out of nowhere.
In the space of what? In the space of what?
Just the one period of like learning soccer.
Yeah.
And let me get it straight.
Let
me get it straight. So amazingly, 2 different kids kick the ball into your face. You get home and your parents tell you off for your glasses breaking.
100%. The glasses thing, I didn't even want to go into it. My parents, I fell asleep with them. I stood on them. I did all sorts. So that was just like. Yeah, Jenna, I'm sure that's really what happened.
Oh, yeah. No one will believe you. Twice, yeah, sure. That's never going to fly with us.
That is heartbreaking. Thank you.
Nathan, Nat, and Shaun podcast.
We are talking about when something happens and it's bad.
Yeah.
But then the same thing happens immediately after, so on the same day. Like we are talking, it was inspired by the kids that locked themselves into the shed at the daycare centre. They got out of the shed and then the shed was locked, but then somehow those little rats got back in there.
Unbelievable.
And now the childcare centre's in trouble.
Oh, 20 grand they got
20
fined.
grand, I know.
Yeah, well, it would have been 10. They didn't do it twice. Hi, Hayley.
Hi, how you going?
Yeah, good, mate. We're talking about things that unbelievably happened twice in one day. What happened?
So my parents had just moved into their brand new house, and I was a P-plater, and I was heading out to school, and I've reversed out and taken the garage door with me.
Yeah.
Oh, so it just you didn't open it at all?
I thought it was, but clearly it wasn't cleared up the top.
And how could you tell? But you know, turning around. But anyway,
rearview mirror.
We've all been kid drivers.
I think the thump gave it away as well.
Yes.
And then, so they got it all fixed, and then I've jumped back in the car, and Mum's out the front to make sure I haven't done anything, and I've taken it with me again.
Oh yeah.
Immediately
she would have got. If my father was there, I would have been smacked into another dimension.
And I opened the door in panic, and my door got wedged as well, right where the railing was. So I've done my car door, the hinge, the garage, and the hinges on the garage door.
So the first time that happened, right, your parents were like, this is ridiculous, right? They're out there checking out the damage. The second time you did it, but you did it worse.
Yeah.
Dad's gone, what was that noise? And Mum's there, yelled out. She's gone, she's done it again.
I know the feeling. That's the worst.
Good work, Hayley. Thank you. Shana's in Wembley Downs. Hello.
Hi, guys.
Hey,
Shana. Okay, what happened twice?
So at Rottnest, favourite place, loving life on holidays, sitting out the front of the bungalow in the sun. Seagull comes, poos on my T-shirt.
Oh.
Like, gross. Go inside, put a fresh one on, come out, haven't even sat down, pooed on it again.
So, do you think it was the same seagull that was just targeting you, or they were daring one another to do it? What do you reckon?
Totally out for me.
Yeah, you know what they're like. They just congregate together.
She
didn't give us a chip. Let's get her.
There are certain things that aren't your fault, right? But like you look at it like your fault.
Yeah.
And it's like when you're down the beach or something like that, and then there's flies around you, and you think, people think I stink.
Yeah.
Yes.
When a bird repeatedly chooses you to shit on. I don't know what it's saying about you, but it's not saying something good.
And the other thing is, like, you're away on holidays. It's not like you take an endless supply of T-shirts.
No,
so you're going through them pretty fast, aren't you? Amazing.
God.
Thanks, Shana.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun in podcast form.
We have got the great champion, Jeremy McGovern, in the house.
Now, before we get stuck into the football, Gov, without telling anyone what you saw, I just showed you a photo of my part of my book week costume, and what do you think?
I think you've absolutely nailed it, but it's extremely scary.
What was? No, you do it another word. Scary / what?
Weird.
Creepy.
Creepy
He said,
as hell.
you take the headband thing off. He goes, and you're just left with the wig. He said,
Yes.
Yeah.
You might not be allowed near the school. Is what we're saying.
Put it this way, you might get arrested at the school.
You won't be allowed back. We know that.
So wait, you famously forgot Hudson one year.
Yes, I did. We're on to it this year.
By we, you mean Maddie?
Maddie, yeah, Maddie's all over it. Yeah, I remember forgetting, and we said we're never going to forget again. So we've
So just to be
we've
sure,
asked him.
you send him every day in fancy dress.
We just make sure. We just once a week. We choose normally Fridays. He just rocks up, just so we never miss it.
What does he want to go as this year?
He didn't know. He said he wanted to go as a shark, and I was like, oh. Come on, just look after us, please. Like, how are we meant to go as a shark?
You can get a shark onesie. That's pretty easy.
You can get those T-shirts.
Yeah, I want to sort of half make him. I want to go to Nathan's level.
Get Nathan to do it then.
I'll do it.
Yeah, not creepiness, but commitment. So yeah, I think we half steered him in the direction of Where's Wally.
That is the biggest cop out of book week history. Is Where's Wally?
Yeah, I agree, but. You got to do it once. You've got to do it once, don't you? You got to take the easy one every now and then.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
So,
take what the opposition gives you.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see how he goes.
I wonder how many parents have heard what their kid want and they go, shark, no, I can't make a shark.
Hey, Gov, it is the last game for you guys this weekend. Has it gone in a flash? How's the year travelled for you?
It depends when you ask. It goes slow and then it goes fast and goes slow. But when you get to the bye, to get into the bye, it seems like a bit of a grind, and then after the bye, it just goes fast. And you know before you know it, you're done. So a bit of both. But got one more game against Geelong this weekend. So we'll do whatever we can.
It's going to be a real tough one down at the Cattery. Obviously, they're playing for a top 4 position. They're coming off a loss last week.
Do they call it the Cattery?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
I know. Yeah, because
really?
Geelong Cats.
Should call it the litter box.
Nathan, it was called Cardinia. When I first started playing there, it was called Cardinia Park. That's the area. But then they name it to all these different sponsors.
That's the stupidest thing I've heard.
Yeah.
Cattery's all right. I don't mind.
Cattery works, doesn't it?
Yeah, remember, who was it that changed their name to Whiskers? It was
Gary Hocking.
Gary Hocking changed his name to Whiskers that day.
I remember for a cat food promotion. Yeah.
Smart.
Would you, for the money, change your name for 6 months?
Actually, change it.
Legally change it to Whiskers.
I'd probably do it for free just for fun.
Okay.
You know what?
That's going to come back to
as long as it was a 6-month period and it's all clear that I can just change my name.
You can change it back.
Harry,
and what actually happened? Can I not just do that now?
You can. Yeah, you absolutely can.
I'll just say, just call me this.
Yes.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And I can just go back.
I'm glad you said
so
that.
So then what does it matter?
We'll meet you here later.
Yeah, just call me this.
Yes.
We'll pick this up again.
You know, that's interesting because a lot of people give themselves their own nicknames.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll call me this from now on.
Yeah, well, I actually had to change my name for a little bit. I lived in an Indigenous community in Warburton.
Yes, that's right.
And then part of their law up there is a person has obviously passed before with your name, so they sort of... You're not allowed to say it anymore.
That's right,
really?
Yeah, so it was Kumina was your name, or you had to come up with your own name. Mum and Dad let me come up with my own name.
What was yours?
I call myself Rocky. I loved Rocky Balboa. That's all my dad used to make me watch was Rocky Balboa, and I was known as Rocky up there.
You can change it back to Rocky McGovern.
Rocky, that's great.
So I've already done it. I've done it. The whole time I was up there, for about 3 years.
And people called you Rocky?
Yeah.
And every time they called you Rocky, did you like it?
It's the same reason that Willie Rioli had to change his name to Junior.
Yeah, I played with guys like that.
Yeah.
One guy in particular, he's left us now, but the same thing. He was an amazing human being. And I love that culture.
We bought in straight away. It wasn't even a question.
If you can call yourself Rocky, why wouldn't you buy in?
Yeah, you get called Kumina or...
Adrian!
What did your brother name himself something? Mitch?
No, Mitch was all good.
Nobody called Mitch died.
No,
So,
okay. Yeah, it was just the way it worked up there, and I was running around as Rocky, so I felt pretty tough up there.
I like his openness to this.
Yeah.
If there are any companies out there that are interested in having Gov be their name for...
That's going to cost you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
it'll cost you money.
Do you mind being Quokka Garage Door McGovern?
Quokka McGovern.
Quokka McGovern. Quokka works.
Right, let's put a price on it. And I'll chat about it.
Quokka Garage Doors McGovern.
You
It's
said
like
you'd do
Sarah
it for
Michelle
free.
Gellar.
Yeah, I did say that, but if it's Quokka, I might have to...
Nathan, Nat and Shaun is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.